It started with something no one even noticed. One morning, the sunlight fell wrong. People walked to work. Children played in the streets. But none of them had shadows. At first, it was strange. Then it was terrifying. Because when the shadows returned, they didn't come back to where they belonged. And by the time the townspeople realized what was happening, their reflections were no longer theirs. And neither were their souls. It started on a Wednesday, quiet, grey, and unremarkable. No thunder, no wind, no warning. Just the absence of something so ordinary that no one noticed right away. When Helen Cross opened her bakery that morning, the sun was low and gentle. She wiped the flour from her hands, looked down at her reflection in the glass case, and realized she had no shadow. Not faint, not fragmented, none at all. She stepped outside, blinking into the dawn. The street lamps still hummed, their light soft across the cracked pavement. A dog barked somewhere near the post office, its leash dragging on the ground. Its shadow was gone too. By noon, half the town had noticed. Children pressed their palms against the dirt, laughing as the light passed through them. But laughter turned to whispers when the news spread. No shadows, anywhere, for anyone. Father Doyle called it a test of faith. The mayor said it was a rare optical phenomenon. But when night came, the streets filled with unease. Windows shut. Lights flickered. The darkness looked heavier, hungrier. The next morning, Helen's neighbor, Mr. Crane, didn't answer his door. His bed was still warm. His coffee cup was half full. The only thing missing besides him was his shadow mark on the wall. It looked burned into the paint, stretched long and screaming. By the third day, the air felt wrong. Heavy, as if breathing it meant swallowing something alive. The sun still shone, but light no longer felt safe. It was as though the world had lost its reflection, and now, it was trying to take something back. That night, Helen dreamt she was standing in her kitchen, surrounded by silhouettes. They whispered, their voices low and familiar. She couldn't see their faces, but she knew them. Neighbors, friends, people from the town square. They all said the same thing, over and over. You shouldn't have let us go. When she woke, her window was open. And outside, beneath the street lamp, her shadow was waiting, facing her. Helen froze at her window. Her shadow shouldn't have been there. It shouldn't have been anywhere. Yet it stood beneath the flickering street lamp, shaped exactly like her. Still. Silent. Wrong. The outline rippled slightly, like black smoke trapped beneath glass. When Helen blinked, it twitched. Just once, and tilted its head as though studying her. Then the light above it burned out, plunging the street into total darkness. Helen slammed the window shut. By morning, word had spread. Shadows were coming back, but not attached to their owners. Some were seen standing by windows. Others hovered behind doors, stretching along hallways where no light reached. Sheriff Murdoch called a meeting in the town hall. The building was packed, everyone pale and restless. "We'll stay calm," he said. "They're just illusions. Tricks of the light. Nobody panic." But as he spoke, the fluorescent lights flickered overhead. When they steadied again, Murdoch's shadow was gone. He didn't notice at first. Everyone else did. A sound rose from the crowd, a low, collective gasp. Then, something dark slithered along the floorboards, gathering beneath his boots like spilled ink. Slowly, it stretched up his legs, wrapping around his torso like it was reclaiming him. Murdoch fell to his knees, screaming. His body contorted, back bending at impossible angles as the blackness forced itself inside him. Then, silence. When the lights went out again, he was gone. Only his hat remained on the stage. Helen ran. Out of the hall, down the streets. Every window she passed showed shapes moving behind curtains. People's shadows were walking alone, returning, but not as they were. At dusk, she reached the old schoolhouse on the edge of town. It was abandoned years ago, but something drew her there. In the main hallway, she saw hundreds of shadows clinging to the walls, writhing, whispering. They weren't random. They were trapped. As she stepped closer, one shadow peeled itself free, a child's. It raised its hand, pointing toward a door marked basement. Helen hesitated, heart pounding. "What's down there?" she whispered. The child's shadow mouthed something she couldn't hear. Then it pressed its tiny hand to her chest. For a split second, she felt cold hands beneath her skin. Helen staggered back. The shadow was gone. From behind the basement door came a faint, rhythmic sound, like someone whispering her name over and over. The voice was hers. The door creaked as Helen descended into the basement. The air grew colder with every step, wet, heavy, full of whispers that crawled beneath her skin. Her flashlight flickered weakly, its beam swallowed by the dark. The moment her foot touched the basement floor, the door above her slammed shut. The sound echoed for what felt like hours. Then, silence. The walls were lined with strange, dark stains. At first, Helen thought they were watermarks. But as her eyes adjusted, she saw faint outlines, human silhouettes, scorched into the concrete. Each one looked frozen mid-scream. Her light trembled across the far wall. Carved there in uneven strokes were words that made her chest tighten. They took the light from US. Something moved in the corner. A whisper, soft, broken, rose from the darkness. "Give it back." Helen spun, flashlight trembling. "Who's there?" Another voice joined in. Then another. Soon, dozens. Men, women, children, voices overlapping, whispering from all directions. "Give us our warmth. Give us our place. You left us behind." The ground rippled under her feet. From the cracks, thin black threads began to slither upward, smoke-like, but alive. They wrapped around her ankles, pulling, twisting. She stumbled, dropping the flashlight. It rolled across the floor, revealing what lay at the center of the room. A mirror. Tall, cracked, covered in soot. Helen's reflection stared back at her. But it was wrong. Its eyes were hollow. Its mouth curved in a slow, knowing smile. "You shouldn't have hidden from me," the reflection whispered. The voice was hers, but layered, two tones, one human, one not. "I didn't hide," Helen breathed. "You left." The reflection tilted its head. "No, you forgot." Then the glass rippled like water. A pale hand reached through, fingers thin and shadowless. It grabbed her wrist, cold, solid, and began to pull. Helen screamed, yanking back, but the grip was unbreakable. Her feet slid forward as her reflection dragged her closer to the mirror's surface. Around her, the whispers grew into a low hum. "You took the light," the voices said in unison. "Now take the dark." The mirror shattered with a sound like thunder. When Helen opened her eyes, she was standing in the same basement, but her body felt heavy, slow, wrong. She turned toward the cracked glass and saw her reflection, still standing on the other side. It smiled. Then it turned and walked away. Helen reached for the glass, but no reflection followed. She didn't have one anymore. Helen climbed the basement stairs slowly, her fingers trembling as she pushed open the door. But when she stepped outside, everything was wrong. The air felt thick, like breathing through cloth. The town looked drained of color, as though the sun had burned itself out. Shadows moved across walls with no one to cast them, gliding lazily like dark stains in motion. And then she noticed, there was no light source at all. No sun, no moon, no stars. Only a dull, pulsing glow in the clouds above, beating like a slow, tired heart. The streets were silent. Shops stood open, doors swaying gently in windless air. Abandoned cars lined the roads, headlights shattered. Helen passed the bakery, the sign still Red Cross and Sia, but the glass was cracked, and the shelves inside were filled with dust. A sound drifted through the air, a faint hum, like static. She followed it to the town square. There, at the center, stood every missing person. Mr. Crane, Sheriff Murdoch, dozens of others. They stood in a perfect circle around the fountain, motionless, eyes open but empty. Their skin looked faded, their outlines faint, like they were being erased. Helen whispered, "What happened to you?" Murdoch's head turned slightly, his voice distant and broken. "We let them in." "Who?" "The ones who waited beneath us. The ones who lost their light first." Helen took a step back. All at once, the crowd began to twitch, tiny, jerking movements. Then, in eerie unison, they lifted their heads toward the pulsing sky, and their shadows peeled off the ground. The black shapes rose like smoke, swirling together above the fountain. They formed something vast and shapeless, its body stretching from one end of the square to the other. Its voice wasn't a sound, it was a vibration that rattled Helen's bones. "You left us in the dark," it said. "Now the light belongs to us." Helen ran. The streets twisted around her, unfamiliar now. Buildings taller, crooked, leaning toward her as if watching. Her footsteps made no echo. Even her breath didn't sound right. She stopped by the edge of town, where the welcome sign once stood. The sign was gone. In its place was a tall mirror, just like the one from the basement, half buried in the ground. Her reflection appeared again, smiling faintly. "Don't run," it said softly. "You're one of us now." Behind her, she could hear the faint shuffle of hundreds of feet. No sound, no breath, just the shadows following. The town had forgotten the sun, and the darkness had remembered her. Helen stood frozen before the mirror. The air around her felt alive, buzzing with whispers that sounded like her own voice, multiplied, distorted, pleading. The reflection tilted its head again, smiling as if it knew something she didn't. "You never understood, did you?" it said softly. "We weren't taken. We were left." The ground beneath her trembled. The houses in the distance flickered, like images projected on a dying screen. For an instant, Helen saw what lay beneath the illusion. An endless plain of darkness stretching far beyond the horizon, writhing with shadowed figures crawling toward her. The reflection pressed its hand against the glass. "When you turned from the light, we stayed. When you hid your fears, we kept them. We grew hungry." Helen shook her head, backing away. "You're not real." The reflection laughed, a hollow, broken sound. "Then why do you breathe when I stop?" And with that, the reflection exhaled. Helen's chest constricted, her breath catching like invisible fingers had gripped her lungs. She fell to her knees, gasping. The mirror rippled like water. Out of the reflection stepped a perfect duplicate of her, colorless, featureless, yet unmistakably her. It crouched down beside her trembling form and whispered, "You forgot that every shadow needs a body. Now it's our turn." The thing reached for her face. Its fingers sank into her skin like ink soaking into paper. Helen's vision blurred. Her world dimmed. She felt herself peeling apart, light draining from her eyes. Her voice swallowed mid-scream. And then, silence. When the mirror cleared, only one Helen remained. The other had vanished, absorbed into the darkness. She blinked slowly and turned toward the empty town. Everything looked normal again. The sunlight was returning, pale but warm. Birds sang. The air smelled of rain and soil. People emerged from their houses, confused but alive. Their shadows trailed neatly behind them. Smiling faces. Ordinary voices. But when Helen, if that's what she still was, walked among them, they didn't look directly at her. Some flinched. Some crossed the street. And wherever she stepped, her shadow didn't follow. That night, the townsfolk slept peacefully for the first time in weeks. Until dawn. Because at sunrise, the light stretched long across the town square, revealing dozens of dark figures standing where their owners slept. Helen stood among them, her eyes black as ink. And from her lips came a whisper that echoed through every wall, every mirror, every place the sun touched. The shadows went missing first. Now, the people will too.